Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. You can hear that in the background. That's one of our cats, Smokey. Smokey Moo. Um, Let me fix that TV. That's gonna bug me. There. All right. Oh, good. I got confirmation. Thank you. That's at least somebody can see and hear me. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Oh, I still don't have the country count and the stats of the 100 people that I'll be healing in this group healing. But I do remember, because when I heard the video back, later that day, I realized that the only countries I forgot to list are Qatar and United Arab Emirates. So sorry about that. So the 102 people that I'm healing this time are from US, Canada, Spain, Luxembourg, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, South Korea, Australia, and that may be it, but I may be forgetting a new one. But anyway, thanks for my confirmations. Hello, hello. So someone's viewing from Las Vegas, someone else is viewing from other places in the US. So thank you, thank you. So yeah, this is a group energy healing. I do talk out loud, except for the first minute. I talk out loud as I heal, so it's a walkthrough as well. And so you could use the walkthrough to heal yourself as you listen. But the 120 people that I'm healing, that's just an option that they have. They could also heal themselves at the same time, but they don't have to. The theme, this is the second in the set of 2 healings called a twin set. It's October 2021 now. So this is the October 2021 twin set. And this is the second in the set of 2 healings. And the theme is communication. And as usual, that's why I just tell everyone, if you can, do all the healings, because there's all sorts of interesting things that pop up that aren't technically obviously a part of the theme, but work really well. So anyway, mental stability has been sort of a big sub-theme, surprisingly, in this communications twin set. And mental stability, I use it in the broad sense, as in we all need more mental stability, meaning like old stresses and traumas and sort of mental injuries to your spirit, if they're not fully healed, then they impact your ability to process new experiences and handle new stresses or surprises or things like that. So there was an exercise that we did 2 days ago. We're going to do it again. And I thought of a whole bunch more that we can do along those lines to get everybody more and more mental stability. So it could help you handle stress better and just help the overall functioning of your own inner thoughts and communication with your angels, communication with other people. So I'm excited about that. One result I did see from people's surveys was that the mental stability, the one that we did called gold disc exercise, so like a disc, like a round surface, gold disc exercise for mental stability, that helped at least 2 different people go back to sleep when they wouldn't have normally been able to go back to sleep. So again, it just helps you handle new stresses, because if you already have a lot of old stresses sort of causing like stress fractures, let's say, in your mind, then a new stress makes all those reverberate, and so it's much bigger and harder to handle. But if you heal those more and more, then the new stress is just some little event that doesn't, it's easier to get over and go back to sleep or do whatever you need to do. So we're going to do that again, the gold disc exercise. There's two more for mental stability that are new today that we're going to do. One, and they're really simple, much like the gold disc exercises. Solid level ground exercise. Solid level ground exercise, and that's easy too and interesting. And then the self-help circle exercise. Self-help circle. Solid ground is another one, kind of like gold disc. It just helps you to get rid of the old stresses so that you have the solid level ground that you're standing on, so you don't get overwhelmed so easily with new situations. Self-help circle is the basic idea is you could have breaks in your self-help circle so that you're not able to proactively take good care of yourself and fix your own issues, like get therapy if you need it, or do a little meditation if you need it, or purchase a healing if you need it. Like the self-help circle is your energy of your ability to kind of be your own caretaker of your mind and yourself in general. So we're going to heal that so that it's a more nice flowing whole circle without little breaks in it everywhere. It's actually more of a ring, but I called it self-help circle just because it sounds cool. But anyway, I actually have a lot planned for today because I'm looking at the list. There's more. Stuff to help you with outgoing communication and incoming communication, like so that what you say to other people and what you convey in like nonverbal ways as well is more close to what you intend to communicate. So that's outgoing communication, and so we're gonna clear distortions from that. And then by clearing energy blocks, healing old wounds, inner wounds, and using flower healing. And then we're going to do the same thing for incoming communication, clear distortions. So you can have inner stuff wrong with you, but inner wounds or blockages or depletions that cause you to hear things in a less productive way. Like maybe literally you're not as good of a listener, or you just distort what's said a little bit and you kind of dramatize it in your mind a little bit. So again, we'll clear energy blocks, heal inner wounds, and nourish with flower healing so that you have more accurate ability to receive communication and hear and listen. If we have time, also, I wanted to bring back 3 techniques that we did 8 months ago in February. It was probably a triplet set, 2021, on love life, turtle exercise, which I ended up mentioning 2 days ago in the other healing. I just mentioned it in passing, but the angels sort of nudged me into to re-listening to parts of it, and it's very relevant to communication. It's sort of like in that love life triplet set, communication became a sub-theme that we ended up doing. So I think we're just gonna, if I have time, we're gonna do up to 3 techniques from that triplet set 8 months ago, because it really helps. They do help communication. They did help back then, and it's the kind of thing, the more you do it, the more it would help. So turtle exercise, clearing shame, and melt inner wall for more authenticity. So those all enhance communication a lot, both conscious, but also just all the ways that you're communicating with people through, just your energy that's going out, or nonverbal communication, all sorts of stuff. So So that should be very cool if we have time for all of it. Well, I mean, we have so many cool options. No matter what combo ends up happening, it will be cool. And within a day, I will put a healing summary in the comment section, a detailed healing summary, so you'll know exactly what we ended up doing, and I will put timestamp links so that you could, zip right to a certain part if you want. All right, so lots and lots. So definitely communication, but also that surprising sub-theme of mental stability, i.e. stress management, etc. I mean, it can be literal mental stability too, so you don't get so overwhelmed you have a breakdown, but that's sort of at the end of the spectrum, and so there's a lot in between there that maybe you're nowhere near having a breakdown, but you really could use more just regular stress management, or you really could use an ability to just chill back out and go to sleep no matter what just happened, so that's all important and affects communication, because communication is also your own inner thoughts, your communication with yourself, and also communication with your angels. This twin set isn't directly focusing on that, but the more you heal yourself, the more you get rid of like sort of an inner chaos and inner distraction, you're more likely to make progress in hearing your angels. Because they have angels speak with a very loving, comforting, supportive vibration. And so if the vibration of your mind is more chaotic, it's hard for that, love, comfort, support vibration to be heard. Whereas if we reset the climate of your inner thoughts and your inner mind, and then you're more like listening to the right radio station, so then you're more likely to hear your angels when they do give you a message. And I will say too, just as a thing, like telepathy, nonverbal communication, including hearing your angels, is an ability that everybody has. Certainly older souls, which anybody who can really like handle me and listen to me and finds these techniques engaging is a relatively older soul. So any of those people have the ability over time, the more they work, they can get into all their chakras all the time. Over time, it takes consistent work. I mean, it could be on and off work, but it's not like an overnight thing. But the more present you are, the more likely your abilities become more accessible to you. Your clairvoyance ability to see energy, your clairaudience ability to hear your angels, all that stuff. But it's not just somebody like me that can hear angels. I was not clairaudient when I was a kid. I couldn't hear angels when I was a kid. I couldn't see energy when I was a kid, for the most part. That's sort of a complicated answer, but for the most part. So these are abilities that can turn on. So just because you don't see your energy now doesn't mean you don't have that ability. You still have a sixth chakra. You can use it more and more. The more present you get, the more safe you get. So anyway, there's that. So you can evolve to a point where you can hear your angels consciously. And if that's something that sounds very meaningful for you, just kind of, you could make a goal for yourself. Like, I want to do that. I want to become a conscious telepath, where you can hear telepathy from your angels. But just, you got to keep working on being more and more present till eventually it turns on, so it's a bit of a journey. I'm almost done with this tangent, I promise, but the angels want me to say it. And like, when I learned of telepathy, because I didn't even know telepathy was real, that you could hear nonverbal communication, like messages from your angels and stuff. I didn't know that was real. And then I learned it was real, and I was meditating for about 3 years after I was like, okay, I want to do that. I'm going to do that. And then I kept, daily meditating and clearing my energy and everything for about 3 years before it turned on. But even then, I couldn't hear my angels. I could hear like people's nonverbal communication. Like if a driver was swearing behind me, but there was no window open or anything, I could just hear they were projecting their telepathy at me of like, give me a break, there's no traffic, turn, So, but anyway, that was, the beginning of my conscious telepathy took me 3 years. But if you're studying my techniques, I didn't have access to the kind of level of technique that I'm teaching now. So it probably would have been maybe closer to 2 years that it took me. But just so you know, it's not necessarily overnight. Okay. So thank you for all the greetings. I really appreciate it. It's very reassuring to know that my camera's working and the microphone works. I should have left it this way before. Okay. So thank you for your surveys. I didn't get to the late surveys. Sometimes I can get to all the surveys because I just give myself like different times to read the surveys, even like last minute surveys, but not this time. I got the early surveys and the middle surveys. I read those and I do appreciate those. The late surveys, I'll get to them at some point, but I didn't read them yet. But the early and the middle surveys, I did read, and they helped me learn and plan this healing. So thank you. So now we'll do the 2 minutes of quiet. And the first minute I'm just prepping, and then the second minute I'm saying hi to the participants, and then starting the healing like this without talking. So you see me go like this, and I've started the healing. And then, after roughly 2 minutes, I'll start talking out loud and doing the walkthrough. So thank you for your patience. You can just chill out during that time. All right, thank you for waiting. So, when you heal yourself, you can get your cat out of the way. Ah, there we go. They always want to sit on my names, my list of participants. Okay, so once the cats are out of the way, you can make a copy of your energy out in front of you and heal the copy. And that way you're healing yourself, but you can rotate it and it might help your perception of things, and that way you can use your hands and feel energy. And over time, the more you do that, you'll be able to feel actual energy blocks and wounds and all sorts of things by just using your hands. So there's many reasons to use a copy out in front of you. Also, you can use your hands then to heal the copy, and your hands generate a ton of energy. So let's do that. So you have big hand chakras, one in the palm of each hand, fingertip chakras, 10 of them, so those generate a lot as well. So first just unblock those a little bit. The more you relax those round openings, they get bigger, and then that means the chakra generates more energy. So use the gold light. Now these chakras generate gold light if you set the chakra to a metallic gold color with your intention. So you don't have to be able to see energy to do that, because thought is just as powerful. Seeing isn't really what makes your chakras be vibrating at gold. Your intention of switching the vibration to gold is what does it. So anyway, comb through your aura, copy out in front of you, comb through your grounding. And let's go ahead and focus on grounding a little bit. So grounding is your connection to the core of the earth, and it helps with everything. Having a wide grounding and having a flowing grounding, flowing throughout. So even in the back, even in the center, even in the sides, even in the front. So you can recreate your grounding. Just make a red or orange or yellow grounding. Make it big and wide. Make it come up high, all the way up to your third chakra. Your third chakra is about taking action, also about having good sleep, ironically, both things. But that's your third chakra. It's where your sternum bone ends. So this bone in the center of your rib cage going down, when that ends, that's your third chakra. So make your grounding go up that high, and make your grounding red or orange or yellow. And as wide, I spread my hands out this way to show that, let your grounding be this wide. Because let your aura be this wide, roughly. I mean, whatever's comfortable for you, but if your aura is fully expanded, it could be this wide. So you just make your grounding that wide as well, because we want to ground every little bit of your aura all the way down to the core of the earth. And how grounded you are certainly would affect the vibration of your communication, like in a giant, giant, giant way. So what I'm doing, and what you can do, is comb through your grounding with your hands, generating gold light. And the gold light can melt away blocked energy in your grounding. So you can imagine the blocked energy like hard books or rocks, and just use the gold light and let the rocks melt away. Those are energy blocks, so just blocked energy. And again, especially the back of your grounding and the center part of your grounding, those are the ones that tend to be most commonly blocked up for people. Like a lot of times I'll see somebody who has done my videos now and then, they'll have a wide grounding maybe, because the idea of my grounding, suggestion to make it really wide resonated with them, and they practiced for a while. So they have a wide grounding, but then the entire back half will be blocked, which, not so useful, right? So unblock, especially the back of your grounding. Just melt away the built up blocked energy back there. If you're more grounded, when you communicate, your communications can be more centering for other people. So your communications could have a restorative centering effect on others, even if you're not, an energy healing teacher, even if you're talking about, registering their car, or, gardening, or, accounting or something. The more centered and grounded you are when you speak, it really affects how you sound, what your vibration is. All right, so that's grounding. So then let's do indie grounding. It was grounding on blocking as well, of course. So indie grounding is where you just check the outer surface of your grounding and use lots of gold light, gold fire, gold water, whichever you like, and you melt away any places where your grounding attaches to other people's grounding, or vice versa, same difference. Any branch off parts of your grounding, just melt those away so that your grounding is truly indie or independent of others. And that's true even if you have a young child. They're going to do better, they're going to feel better, they're going to process their stresses in their little 2-year-old life a lot better if they have their own unique grounding that is not linked up to yours. If you know you have a problem with people courting you, or allowing that to happen, or you courting other people, you likely also have a problem with your grounding hooking up to other people's grounding. So it's a lot easier to make progress on the courting issues if you also practice your indie grounding. And, I do say, because I think it is potentially necessary, when you have people trying to connect to your grounding, they're often pretty confused and they think it's a good idea. So then you might have to say some, nonverbal communication, telepathy, just with your mind, like, hey, it's okay, go check your body, go have your own grounding, it'll help you have a good day. It'll help me manage stress, help you manage stress better if we have separate grounding. Go ask your angels about grounding. It'll help you handle stress if you just make your own grounding. Go ask your angels, say, angels, help me with grounding. Okay, good. So that's indie grounding. So we had called it in the healing 2 days ago, take the heat off you, which, I don't know if that works for people's brain, but I'm going to call it that again. Take the heat off you. It's sort of a different version of crowd exercise. Crowd exercise, I don't know. it's okay, but take the heat off you is kind of how I usually think about it. It's like you just think about yourself, and then like a big blob for your energy, you know, and then uh, beings or people throwing energy or courting outside of your space, trying to, you know, affect you. You just kind of imagine, let's say, all the invasive beings at once, and just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? You know, so any beings that are external to you and trying to throw energy at you and be overwhelming or cord you, you want your angels to recycle them. So just once you ask your angels to do that, angels, please recycle those beings, then just give your angels, you know, 20, 30 seconds to do it. And you could have like, it could be a little, like at first, you know, you do that and you get rid of most of them, but there still could be some, like say, right coming down from above, because coming down from above is for some reason a very popular way to overwhelm somebody. So you could just again notice, especially above you, energy, you know, any being sending energy downward. Now, a being that could freak people out, but you're a giant, enormous, eternal being. So these beings are much less powerful and have a lot less energy than you do. So maybe it's just that you're not thinking of yourself as a being, why the whole thing becomes so spooky. But you're the big boy in the room. So don't worry about it. Or the big girl in the room. Okay, so but beware of if there are invasive beings above you sending energy downward, and just say, angels, can you recycle these beings? Not that your angels didn't recycle some before, but sometimes you got to do it in batches because there's still more. Another place you can have, you know, with this take the heat off you thing, another, so we did overall, and then we did from above, which is sort of what we just did. And then another way that energy can be kind of coming at you in an overwhelming way is that part of you that's on your spiritual path. So the road that's just for you, that represents what you're meant to learn and experience in this life, right? You want, if you imagine that, hopefully you're on your path. You're not like lost on some side road. If you're lost on a side road, just say, angels, help me to be on my path. And then your angels can like airlift you back onto your path. But we could assume you're already on your path, but you might have just some invasive beings or people, but we're dealing with the invasive beings first. You might have some invasive beings kind of throwing energy at you, sort of like you're walking into a windstorm. So you can just imagine ahead of you on your spiritual path, any beings that are throwing energy at you. I just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? Because your path should not feel like an overwhelming windstorm. It might, but it's definitely workable. You don't have to accept that. Okay, so that was take the heat off you for beings. So then for people, you can just, you know, imagine like the blob for you and anyone around you anywhere that's throwing energy at you or trying to cord you or screaming at you telepathically or whatever. And just, you know, now that you're grounded, you know, just remind yourself of your grounding. And say hi to these people in as centered a way as you can manage, you know, and just say, hey, go talk to your angels. Hello, your angels can help you today. Go check your body. Go take a deep breath. when people like check in with their body and take a deep breath or wiggle their toes, it's centering. It helps them to, you know, when they try to feel their body, they have to come in to do that. And so they're less in your face if they're more in their own space, in their own body and around their own body. So that's why I suggest that people say hi to their angels and also kind of check in with their body, both of those things. Or one or the other might do it. Now you might have some people that are a little overly fixated on you and maybe mad at you, and so that didn't help because they're too stuck in pain. So in that case, you have to validate their hardship and pain. So you say, I know you're going through a lot. I know you're in pain. I know you have a lot of burdens and stresses. Your angels can help you with your burdens and stresses. Just say, angels, help me with my burdens and stresses. And that allows those people to start receiving the help from their angels rather than projecting some kind of conflict onto you. So that's taking the heat off you. First, by getting rid of the beings with angel help, and then second, by helping the people to realign and leave you alone. So now let's do aura repair. I'm gonna do aura repair. It's not the most newbie friendly version I'm doing right now, just because we always do aura repair, and we did aura repair 2 days ago. So the 120 people that I'm healing, I mean, I can do this to heal all 17 of their auras at once. If you're a total newbie, you feel like, I think I have a ton of aura damage, you can do this aura repair walkthrough, but also maybe go to, like, say, the healing 2 days ago and do that aura repair too, because that aura repair isolates just first doing the 2 auras and then doing the 15 auras. So it's that aura repair of the 2 auras, the regular 2 auras, astral and physical, that you really need to kind of keep working probably if you're a newbie, because you might have had epic aura damage, and then to make sure that's fully repaired. That's important. You can always post under any video if you are wondering if your aura repair work has worked. If you're a newbie, maybe do your aura repair for like at least, you know, a day or two, you know, different times, work on it before you say, okay, can you check my work? But definitely feel free to post under any video, you know, can you check my work with chakra repair? Can you check my work with aura repair? And I can do that. Okay, so we're gonna repair your everything, all your 17 auras at once, your 2 regular auras and your 15 Wei Qi auras, which are extra auras that you have as a spirit, help you with strong energy boundaries. Oh, fun fact, somebody in their survey said they felt slightly anxious towards the center of my body. So that person feeling slightly anxious towards the center of their body, what happened is they had 2 Wei Qi auras damaged in the front, pretty deep. And so that causes energy to come in more than it normally would, which is why they felt slightly anxious around the center of their body. So if you're feeling like subtle weirdness like that, of course, check your 2 regular auras. But if your 2 regular auras are repaired, then intuitively check, do I have Wei Qi aura damage in this area that I'm feeling more vulnerable in? And you probably do. So then you can heal it or repair it. Okay. So your 17 auras, the regular ones and the Wei Qi ones, just comb through them, get a sense of all the rips that are healthy and gentle to repair right now. And you can make a composite copy of all the rips that are healthy and gentle to repair right now in all your 17 auras, and make it just the composite copy look like one rip. So maybe it looks like a big valley. It's a composite copy rip. of representing all the rips in your 17 auras that are healthy and gentle to repair right now. And you just use gold light and get it really deep into that rip and clean it out. And you can alternate doing that with sticky gold wax to keep cleaning out the rip, just to make sure then that the gold light is making good contact with the ripped parts. You want to get the other junk out of the way, meaning little invasive beings that could be in the way, people's energy could be in the way. That's pretty much it. So sticky gold wax, just cover the inside of this composite copy rip with sticky gold wax and use the wax to get rid of all the junk. And angels, here you go. Hand them the wax and the junk. Okay, and then do more repair. And again, what are we doing? We're doing repair of all 17 auras at once by using a composite copy of the rips that are healthy and gentle to repair right now. And again, we can use sticky gold wax to clean out the rip. Lots of sticky gold wax. Have it stick to anything that's not you. And then take out the wax and the junk all at once. Angels, here you go. And then more gold light. Get it as deep as you can into the rip, and the rip will be healing up, so it'll be less and less deep. And then you can have aura scarring as sort of a leftover, hard bumpiness at the edge of the aura. So just imagine a composite copy of all your aura scarring in any of the 17 auras, and go ahead and melt that away, because that interferes with the surface tension and the strength of the outer part of your aura. So just imagine that lumpy, hard scarring, and use gold light, take your time, and melt it away. Keep breathing, feel your legs. So you're melting aura scarring in all of your 17 auras. And if you have any leftover, just say, angels, please help me with that. So then let's do sticky gold wax in case you have some hard objects stuck in the outer surface of some of these auras, or some hard objects stuck inside the aura somewhere, or some energy blocks you want to get rid of, or some invasive beings you want to get rid of, or people. Just the sticky gold wax can stick to all that, and then we'll remove it all at once. So imagine your everything, your 17 auras, your physical body, your astral body's inside there, your physical grounding, your astral body grounding's there too, and sticky gold wax the whole thing. So that's just gold healing energy, but it sticks to anything that you need to release. Sticky gold wax, the outer surface of your grounding, the outer surface of all your 17 auras, and then the inside of everything. And we're going to remove the wax and the junk all at once, so your everything stays in place and you move the wax and the junk to the side. There you go, and say, angels, here you go. Deep breath. And you can comb through everything and just use gold light. And you can let this gold light help you to replenish. And let's do sticky gold wax one more time around the outer surface of all your 17 auras, and the outer surface of your grounding, and inside everywhere, your physical body, astral body, all your 17 auras and your groundings. And then we're going to move the wax and the junk to the side. There you go. Angels, here you go. And we could do one more sticky gold wax just to help you with communication. So anything that you need to release right now to help you be a better communicator, or better with outgoing communication, and also better with receiving, listening, processing communication. So sticky gold wax, you're everything. Any junk in the way of communication. Move the junk to the side with the wax. Angels, here you go. All right, and then just a little extra repair, because you might have some gashes if you just removed hard objects from the outer surface of your auras. There may be little puncture holes left over, so a little extra repair of all your 17 auras around the edge. All right, so that gives you a nice surface tension of hopefully all 17, but as many auras as possible, which adds to the strength of the aura. And go ahead and redo your gold buffer zones. That just takes a second. If you've never learned gold buffer zones, they help slow the rate of aura damage if you recreate them often enough. I have a reference video, 18 minutes. I link it under every one of these group healings, so you can learn how to make gold buffer zones for yourself. I had noticed before I started talking that people had a bunch of pressure in the top of the aura and above the aura, but that seems to have lifted and cleared as we were doing all that work that we did just now. So that's nice. I'm going to do a little bit of CVGV, CV Meridian and GV Meridian repair, more on a subtle level for fraying. So I'm going to heal fraying of the GV and CV meridians. Those are major traditional Chinese medicine meridians that manage the other meridians. So the GV meridian, I have videos on this. I'll link them below later. I linked them below the healing 2 days ago as well. The GV meridian starts in the crotch, goes up the midline of the back, and then hooks around the head to the roof of the mouth. And then it goes internal after that. And the CV meridian also starts in the crotch, goes up the midline of the front, and ends in the tip of the tongue. So the GV meridian manages your yang meridians, and the CV meridian manages your yin meridians. So yang and yin. Maybe a super simplified version of yang and yin would be like your assertiveness, your ability to protect yourself, and your yin is your more sensitivities, subtle awareness of subtleties, self-nurturing, comforting, that kind of thing. So you want both of those. And also, too, that definitely affects your communications. If you're very balanced with your yin and your yang energies, that would really change the vibration of your communication to other people and make it be potentially much more appealing to other people and potentially centering for them. So that's nice. But also working your CV and GV meridians helps with immune system stuff, helps with just, your psychological wellness and your ability to get projects done, all sorts of stuff. So like in those heal fraying videos, the GV meridian is the one that at that time I suggested you do first, which sounds reasonable. So let's do that first. So the GV meridian, the governing vessel meridian, that manages your yang meridians. So your yang energy about taking charge of your life and managing your issues and being self-assertive. So it goes up the midline of your back, straight up, hooks around, and ends in the roof of your mouth, right? So you just sort of imagine that like a red tube up in front of you that hooks around, and you don't want it to be blocked at the bottom, because at the bottom where it starts, which is point GV1 in traditional Chinese medicine, you want that to be very unblocked so that it can receive energy from, other channels in your body, other energy channels, so it can feed right into GV1 and not be like half blocked. So the very base of that GV meridian. So it's kind of like, it reminds me of a candy cane, straight up, and then it loops around. But it's supposed to be all red though. But so unblock it at the bottom at GV1. So there's a lot of your life force that can come through this tube. And then when you look for fraying, I mean, you can have like major damage. So you could look for that first, especially if you have a headache, you probably have major damage to your GV meridian. So major damage would be like, it's just split open for, an inch or a couple inches. It's just, there's just a big gash in your GV meridian. So you can look for that first, like major damage. Sometimes people that have chronic headaches, it'll only be like half healed and it'll be all scarred up in a certain part. So you want it to be sort of red and flowing and supple, this tube. You don't want to need like blackened hard scarring, because that's not strength. If it's hard, it can more easily get damaged in the future. So just surround the whole thing in gold light, gold fire, gold water, whatever you like, and just melt away scarring and repair major damage in this GV meridian. And the part around the neck and the head, that's the part that's most directly related to head pain, headaches, migraines. This isn't the only cause of migraines or headaches, but it's a very common cause. Also, what you eat, the kind of foods you eat, influences that as well, potentially. So what are we doing? We're doing major repair on the GV meridian, the governing vessel one, the one that looks like a candy cane, but it should be all red and flowing upward. And we're melting scarring. Because like I said, people that tend to have headaches, they may, frequent headaches, they probably never get rid of the scarring. And so that's why it keeps damaging again and again so easily. Alright, so that was the major repair. So now we'll do something that I kind of enjoy even more, which is the fraying. I'm looking for very subtle levels of damage to your GV meridian, which you could do with any of your traditional Chinese medicine meridians. Look for fraying. So fraying is more like just energy leaks that are very subtle, but they can be a certain area of them, and so there's a lot of leakage there, and it can kind of look like a frayed rope. So there's this thick rope of like the river of energy flow, and then all of a sudden it's like there's all this leakage, but like little tiny feathering of it, fraying. So just look for any of that, like where is the river nice and solid, and where is the river all frayed. And it can be frayed only on one side, or it can be frayed on both sides in the same place. And it is not an accident that you might be more likely to have fraying where you end up getting physical pain. So if you tend to have, tension, a lot of tension around the base of your skull, definitely check your GB meridian around that area and see if there's fraying. And you can have energy cords going into those damaged parts. And so melting the cords helps you get rid of the fraying. And you can also have invasive beings that are just kind of plastered to the fraying area, the frayed areas, because that's where you're leaking energy. So you can just say, angels, if there are any beings interfering with my GB meridian or any being tunnels interfering with my GB meridian, can you have them recycled? Okay, so I think that's good enough. So that was basically GB repair. First, the major repair of major rips, and then subtle damage, which would be fraying. We repaired that too. And we melted cords and got rid of beings as part of the repair process. Okay, so now to complement that, let's do the CV meridian repair. And CV meridian starts in the crotch. It stands for conception vessel. So it starts in the crotch and goes up the midline of the front and ends in the tip of the tongue. So same idea, except this one is easier because it's a straight line. So just unblock the bottom of your CV meridian, that acupuncture point CV1. It's very common, if people haven't ever gotten this healed, that they might have it half blocked, that initial point at the bottom, or more than half blocked. All right, and then just trace upward and with gold light. If there's any major rips, heal those. Any cords, melt them away. We are also unblocking the inside, the flow, because you could have it be repaired, but then there's just an energy block inside of it. I didn't really mention that when we were doing GB, sorry about that. But I was also unblocking as I was working. So right now I will say it. Sorry about that. So yeah, major repair, just melt away any rips and any scarring with your CV meridian, the one that goes up the front. And any beings that are getting in the way of your work, just say, angels, can you please recycle any beings or being tunnels interfering with my CV meridian? Which should make repair easier. So again, major repair, just search for any major rips or slashes in your CV meridian, the one up the front, and melt away cords. And you already got rid of beings, while your angels did for you. So then now the, of course, unblocking too. Just sense that the river of energy flow upward. So it's like a red tube with a red river up it. And anything, of course, that's not red, just clear that with gold light. Anything that's not flowing, melt that away. And then the more subtle level of damage, the fraying, which is, you know, just like little pinhole, maybe leaks, but a bunch of them together usually. And go ahead and get a sense of any of that, any fraying in your CV meridian going up the midline of the front of your body, and heal that fraying. One thing I didn't do, which we could do actually for both CV and GV, so it's a little bit like after the fact that we're doing it for GV as well, is sticky gold wax, because you could have hard objects stuck in the meridian, like little spears or toothpicks or something, you know, just stuck in there. And so that is not good. You know, that can cause pain. So we'll just use sticky gold wax for the, you know, the CV meridian, wax the whole thing, and it's going to stick to any hard objects inside or around the outside of your CV meridian. And then same thing with GV meridian, sticky gold wax around the outside of it. It's going to stick to any hard objects or any energy blocks you want to get rid of. And then just move the wax to the side all at once. Well, move the wax to the side for the GV. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Deep breath. Move the wax to the side for the CV meridian, the front one. Angels, here you go. And then just a little extra repair now that you've removed those hard objects. All right, good job. Yay! I'm gonna fix my camera. I think it's a little blurry. I don't know if I made it better. Yeah, I think I fixed it. Okay, great. So that was GV and CV meridian repair, unblocking, etc. Okay, so next what we're going to do is the mental stability stuff. We're going to repeat the gold disc exercise and add the solid level ground exercise. Both are very simple and look to be very effective, so that's nice. So I'm just going to write that down first. So first the gold disc one, and then the solid level ground one. So the gold disc one is easy. I have a diagram that I made yesterday for it, or 2 days ago in that healing. So you imagine a gold disc that represents your mental stability. So like the shape of maybe like a record from a record player, but gold. And the cracks in the record are unprocessed stresses that you haven't healed from. So, you know, old traumas that you haven't healed from. You can fully heal from trauma, right? But it's not that common. People don't know how to, they don't take the time to do it. So, you know, that's how your stress management gets worse and worse over time, potentially. And plus these cracks could even be from past lives. So you imagine your mental stability gold disc, And then you imagine some of the big cracks and then some of the little thin cracks. And you imagine what is good to heal right now. So you can do this exercise more and more over time. And let's heal one or two of the big cracks first. Again, these are cracks in your mental stability from old stuff that happened to you. So you don't have to worry about what it was. Just imagine your gold disc, and we're pretty grounded because we've done all this work, but if you're not grounded, you could stop and redo the grounding part and then come back to this. But just imagine your gold disc, and let's just do two of the big cracks at once if that's not too much for you. You could do one big crack at once or two big cracks at once. But first, just melt away any cords from other people that are going into these big cracks. So you just find the cords that are going into them and just use gold fire on those cords and just melt them away. And then paint the cracks with gold healing energy. Get it all in there. And just relax. And just kind of let that work. Let the gold light melt the big cracks. And again, I would encourage you to just think very mechanically like this. If you can use your intuition and just think what time period that crack is from. Is it from a past life? And if you can do that from a very centered, calm place, then go for it. If you think it's going to upset you, then don't even bother. It's just a crack that you're melting with gold light. And again, if you're one of the people I'm healing, you don't have to do the walkthrough. I am doing the healing on you. Doing it yourself is an added thing you could do if you want. So gold light through your major cracks so that they melt. And then go ahead, find two more larger cracks, or one or two more, and melt the cords going into those. And then use gold light and melt away those cracks. If you're feeling really weird, maybe you're grounding blocked up, so you can redo your grounding real quickly. Check the back of it, make sure it's unblocked. You can say, angels, help me to do this. Just gold light through those major cracks. Let them melt. Deep breath. All right, good job. So now the little thin cracks, they're easier to do, typically. So you can do a whole section of them at once if you want. Or a whole bunch at once, basically. So the thin cracks, go ahead and paint lots of gold light on those and just let those heal. You're less likely to have people cording these little minor cracks, but it's possible to. You could melt any cords that are there first and then use gold light on these little cracks. All right, and if any of that isn't finished, you can just say, angels, help me do this. And if you feel like, I know I probably need to do this more, but I'm not going to do the walkthrough, I'm just never going to do it again, you can work with your angels on a subconscious level in your sleep to do more as well. So you can say, angels, if I need to do this more, can you help me do this in my sleep? Okay, so that was gold disc exercise. And so then next we'll do also something that helps mental stability, which is, and it's new for today, is solid level ground exercise. So being on solid ground, that's why I put that word in the title of the exercise, because being on solid ground, standing on solid ground, that's sort of a common expression, not super common, but it's a commonly understood expression to mean, something is more stable. If you're standing on solid ground, you're stable. And so with this exercise, what you do is you're imagining your mind as ground, as earth. So it's not exact like when we worked emotions, we imagined an emotional garden. But this isn't a garden. It's just because because the angels felt like you make it into a garden, that's a little too distracting. When we're thinking of mental stability, we're thinking of stability versus instability, and we just want to really focus in on that. So you can imagine like a square garden that is, if you don't like square, that's fine. Imagine it some other way, partitioned in some other way, just so you can check each section of it, but you could do a square within a square. So there's like 2 squares on top, 2 squares on the bottom, and so it's supposed to be solid level ground. But the more you check each section, there could be like a big hole in one of the sections or a big sort of ditch in one of the sections. And that represents, a bit like the disc exercise, that represents something that happened to you that, didn't get processed and healed fully. And so now it means that you could step into that ditch or step into that hole or get near that hole. And it just feels very unstable, unsettling. And so, something in your day or in your life or in your month may stress you to the point where you're in that part of your, your mental ground, and it's not solid, it's not stable. And so that can make something much more overwhelming than it needs to feel. Okay, so basically you're looking at this, your mental ground, to see if there are any big holes, right? And or ditches, because we want it to just be solid and level, right? So go ahead and find one of the bigger holes, and I guess we'll reground too. So now that was explaining solid level ground exercise. So then we'll reground, and then we'll do. So just reground, red or orange or yellow, make sure it's wide and big, you're grounding, and unblock it all the way down to the core of the earth. Use gold light, melt away anything that got backed up, anything that got blocked up in your grounding. Make sure you have really strong flowing grounding, even in the back. Okay, great. So now we're gonna do, one of my lights went out. That's annoying. Can I fix it without, hold on one sec. I wonder why it went out. It might go out again soon, but we'll see. I'm gonna leave it for now. So anyway, we regrounded, and I've regrounded my light. Best I can do in 20 seconds. So now we're going to do the solid level ground exercise. So you just imagine your mental stability ground, and find a hole or a ditch in your mental stability ground, and use lots of gold light and just, gold fire. And you can also see too, angels, if there are any beings or people in the way of me healing this hole, can you take care of it? So that way there could be, a few little invasive beings, there could be some person in the way, just your angels will kind of whisk them away. And then just you focus on the hole, stay present, but you just use gold fire and get that gold fire into the hole that you're imagining in your mental stability ground. And again, this could be from a past life, so you don't have to rack your brain about it. You don't have to know. You just imagine a hole in your mental stability and let it heal back. And if it's not healing, just say, angels, help me do this. So when it fills up and heals, you may also see the whole vibration of the ground in general, like maybe the ground gets like green and grassy. So it's not like a garden that kind of can distract from the point of the solid level ground, but you might have some nice green grass or nice mossy grassiness on the ground, which maybe means that not only is it solid and level, but it's kind of more pleasing to you. Okay, and then look for another hole or ditch in your mental ground, right? So it could be in one of the other 3 sections. And find another big hole or ditch and do the same thing. Just first say, angels, can you move out any beings or people that are in the way of me healing this? And then go ahead, lots of gold light, get it really deep into this hole. And again, this represents your mental stability, and you're finding a hole in it. And you're just using gold fire, gold water to heal it up. And you don't have to feel what it was at all. Just feel your butt, feel your toes as you work. Just keep breathing. Let the gold light do the work for you. And again, when it heals up, you might notice that the whole ground around it kind of shifts and becomes more pleasing to you as well. Okay, so another issue that you might have with your mental stability ground is you can have like little walls on your mental stability ground. And I think that's just because maybe there was some hole and you were just blocking yourself from it, blocking your awareness of it. So like the wall in your mental stability ground might be some old denial. But you don't need that anymore. I mean, if there's a wall in your mental stability ground, you can have your angels double check it, but most likely you don't need that wall anymore. So just say, angels, is it okay for me to melt these walls, these denial walls in my mental stability ground? And then go ahead and melt them. So just imagine any denial walls in your mental stability ground. And the effect of these denial walls is kind of funny. Well, not haha funny, but interesting. It can make you just kind of zone out and really unproductive if one of these walls gets triggered. So like you're trying to be productive in one day and then like, wow, it totally didn't happen. Could be that you had one of these denial walls triggered in your mental stability ground. So it's good just to melt them away so that you have less sort of major processing days, you can just sort of go with the flow more easily. You don't have to, you have less need to do absolutely nothing for hours and hours and hours. So again, we have this, we're imagining the ground that represents your mental stability, and we're looking for any denial walls. And we had your angels double check, and then we melted them. So if you have any left over, you can say, angels, help me with these. And also, you can check on different days, because there could be more that you're aware of, that you're able to clear, that you're able to be aware of on a different day. So let's see. Okay. Also, with this solid level ground exercise, you can have like a facade. A facade is like sort of a fake front. This lighting is so bothering me. I'm gonna put the good light where the bad light is. Hold on. That'll give me a different lighting problem, but it'll be less annoying to me, I think. There we go. All right, so you can have on your level ground, you know, of your mental stability, you can have sort of a platform that you've built over some of the holes. So you're like, ma, it's not there. You know, I'm really perfect. Everything's fine. You know, because maybe at some point you just didn't know enough about energy healing. You didn't know how to stabilize yourself enough to heal these wounds. And so that's just your coping skill. You just decided to build something on top of it to pretend like everything's fine, you know, which is a more advanced form of denial. It's more like a facade where you're trying to fake being okay, and show other people this fake version of you. So go ahead, and you may only have like a small part where you've done that, or you may have done that on like half of your mental stability ground. And again, this is maybe happened a long time ago and you didn't even have aura repair, or you didn't have your aura repaired or your chakras repaired. You didn't know about wide grounding. So, I mean, you know, it was the best you could do at the time. You didn't know how to let your angels heal you. So, you know, but now you know all these things. And so you don't have to resort to this sort of fake band-aid over things. You can actually get real stability and real healing. So just find one of these. We can call them like, you know, and they look like a platform that you build on top of the holes, you know. So find a platform, you know, one of these fake sort of platforms on your mental stability ground that you built, and go ahead and hand the platform to your angels. How about that? And then there may no longer be any holes underneath your platform, but there may still be some holes under your platform. So if there are any holes under your platform, you can just say, angels, can you remove any beings or people that are in the way of me healing these? And then go ahead and heal them. Any holes or little ditches that were underneath your platform. But you might not have any, in which case you could just heal the ground a little extra anyway. But if you have holes that were under your platform, your fake platform, just go ahead and heal those with gold light. So again, that helps you in two ways. It helps you with stability, right? Because then you don't have this fake platform on top of a bunch of wounds. You know, you have real wellness right there now. It also helps you with authenticity, because then you're not showing this fake version of yourself to other people. And so it can really change the vibration of your communications, and also how people experience your communications. So really neat stuff. So let's do that one more time, the platform thing. So we did two different holes, we healed those, and then we did walls, which are basically denial. We melted those on from your mental stability ground. And then now we're doing two different platforms. We did one already, we'll do another. So again, it could be small if this is an issue you've worked on over time, you just don't have a lot of that stuff left over. But again, these can be from past lives, so you never know. So find another platform, whether it's giant or small, that you have on your mental stability ground that's sort of covering up some stuff, and just hand the platform to your angels. Angels, here you go. And then that area is the area you're going to be healing, right? But you want to move stuff out of the way that might be in the way. So you just say, angels, if there are any beings or people in the way here, can you get rid of all of them? And just give your angels, 20 seconds to do that. And now we're going to heal that area. Maybe it's already healed, but it could just, of course, still use a little extra gold light. But you could still have the original gashes or holes there that motivated you initially to cover it up and just pretend. So just let the gold fire, gold water just kind of coat the inside of the hole. And so it starts healing up. And as it's fully healed, then it can change sort of the color and the vibration of the ground around it. It might look more green and grassy and mossy. All right. So then you can just overall just kind of use gold light throughout the whole thing, your mental stability ground, all the sections of it. You can say, angels, can you please bless my mental stability? All right. So that was solid level ground exercise. And I will look forward to seeing your surveys. You don't have to say what that exercise did for you, but I'll be able to tell like which exercise helped you the most when I look at the survey. So that should be interesting. So I'm just unblocking the grounding again. So you can just imagine you're grounding and comb through it. Having flowing grounding throughout a major healing like this is the difference between the healing feeling like really amazing and like, you know, I got cranky and I started a fight. Oh, fun fact. I think two different occasions when someone had an argument in their survey, they wrote like, oh, my husband and my daughter were arguing, or oh, I had this argument with somebody. I mean, sometimes that's just, you know, it's just something's going on. But sometimes it's that you're kind of starting to stand up for yourself in a way that you didn't before. You're kind of realizing that boundaries have been crossed, you know, like maybe that person just walks into your mind and your upper chakras a lot. And it's like you're finally present enough to go, hey, cut that out, you know. And that could start an argument because the person is so used to walking into your mind, they think that you're being unreasonable, you know. So some arguments are not really like a bad thing, you know. They can just reestablish boundaries, hopefully. But of course, ideally, if you could just reestablish your boundaries without, you know, and just skip the argument part, you know, like just wash the person out, not let them come in, and you know, that's that. That's of course the ideal, but you know, just a heads up that arguments are not always bad. In other words, they're not always that both parties are stuck. Sometimes someone is more unstuck than usual and they are realizing a pattern and they want to change that pattern. But talking about it out loud verbally is not always the smoothest way to change the pattern. Sometimes just quietly with consistent energy healing on your own is the most peaceful way to change a pattern between you and another person. But anyway, okay, cool. Okay, so let's do communication distortion. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, no, let's do the self-help circle. This one's super easy and new. Circle. Okay, so it's just like a round. I guess I'll draw it. It's just so simple. It sounds funny to have to draw it, but okay. So your self-help circle is just this your energy of being able to be the caretaker, the nurturer, the person that makes your solution happen. Like say if you need therapy and you have the money and you have the time, you're just not doing it. You know, that energy of yours that will find the good psychotherapist and set the appointment and actually get what you need so that you can get better. You know, like that idea of taking that initiative to give yourself the support you need, right? So we're calling that your self-help energy, and we can imagine it as like a ring or a circle, and the outline of a circle, and just see if there's any breakage in it. Because if there's breakage in it, then it's kind of like it doesn't work, and you don't make the therapy appointments, or you don't buy the probiotics that you need even though you have the money, or you don't do things to get yourself the help you need, right? So here's an example of somebody's self-help circle. It's just, one of the people that I'm healing, I just looked at his self-help circle right now, and this is what it looks like. So parts of it are solid, but parts of it are broken. So that means that if he has a problem that he could solve for himself, the energy just gets so diffused that he doesn't actually solve the problem. It's just something, he just doesn't make the solution happen. So if we heal this stuff, then he's got a nice flowing circuit. And so it's much more likely that he's gonna, go ahead and make the therapy appointment, or go ahead and buy his probiotics that he needs for his intestines, or, get that acupuncture appointment, or, do that meditation video, or take the nap that he needs, So that's the idea. That's your self-help circle. Your ability to help yourself. Okay, so go ahead and look at your self-help circle and see parts that are solid, see parts that have breaks in them, and then go ahead and just use gold light on the whole thing, but especially on the broken parts, and just heal it. So you're repairing your self-help circle. And this isn't a literal circle like in your chakra somewhere. It's an exercise that we're doing that helps, but it's not like a physical part of your energy system. It's a representation of that cycle of your self-healing energy and your initiative and your ability to take action. And maybe you need to focus on one broken part at a time, but just kind of try to relax. Don't try too hard. And you may see some people corded in, some just energy cords coming in. So you could say, angels, if there are any beings in the way, or being tunnels in the way of me healing this, just please get rid of them. And the people, you can just get rid of them yourself. You can just melt any cords that you see going into your self-help circle. And then again, just find one of the broken parts and just let it heal. Let it repair with the gold light. And there is a level of, healthy and gentle, so that's enough to do for now. So you may have a couple more breaks, and you just get this sense of like, that's good enough for now. I don't want to do too much at once. So you can just say, angels, can you help me do this more with you in my sleep? But definitely say angels, so that it's your angels you're going to be working with on this. And you can definitely do this on different days, because there could be breaks to your self-help circle that you're ready to work on, a week from now, that you're not perceiving today. And so, with all this stuff, you can definitely do it more on different days. So that is repairing your self-help circle. So now we'll do outgoing communication. we'll get rid of distortion. Okay, so I said it in the intro. You can have, it's very common. I think probably everyone I'm healing has some distortion in their outgoing communication. Yeah, some more than others. But so it's like you intend to communicate at a certain vibration, and then what you actually end up communicating is at a different vibration. And why is that? You know, well, it's probably energy blocks in different chakras and whatever, right? So we're going to hopefully get that gap much less, so that what you intend to communicate is literally what is happening. So, and this of course is something you can work over time. So we're going to do it by clearing blocks, healing inner wounds, and then flower healing. Okay, so double check your grounding real quick. Red, orange, or yellow, nice and wide and flowing, even in the back. Okay, and then if you want, you can make a gold blanket and then pile the blocks on the blanket. Yeah, why not? Big gold blanket out in front of you, like a blanket exercise. Big gold blanket out in front of you. Dump onto the blanket any energy blocks in your space, anywhere, that distort how you're communicating to others. And so just put all the blocks there. Don't think about what they are. Just make big piles of energy blocks. And say, angels, is it okay for me to clear these? And then go ahead and you could blow them up. If they're yours, you can melt them with gold light. You can even like wrap them up and go, angels, here you go. That's fine too. So again, big gold blanket, any energy blocks that are distorting your communication to others, even to your angels, you know, I guess communication with yourself, any energy blocks that are distorting your communication with yourself, others, angels, anything like that. That what you're saying, what you're communicating on nonverbal and verbal levels. So any distortion, energy blocks, and then just angels, can you double check? Is it okay for me to get rid of all these? And then just blow them up if they're yours, or hand them to your angels, or melt them with gold light. All right, and then inner wounds. There can be inner wounds that you have that are also distorting your outgoing communication to others. So like you're not maybe even really realizing, sometimes you might know, like that didn't come out right. You know? So you can imagine inner wounds, even if they're from some terrible time period, they're really easy to heal, which is pretty amazing. But it's because, you know, we're already very stable and present. So once you're already very stable and grounded and repaired and flowing, then you can do big deal stuff, and it's not hard. So just like this with inner wounds. So imagine like slashes out in front of you, inner wounds that you have that are distorting your communication with others, your communication with yourself, communication with angels, or communication with other people. So inner wounds you have that are distorting your communication with others and with yourself. And just lots of gold light and heal those inner wounds. You can say, angels, help me do this. All right. Maybe have a sip of tea. Congratulate yourself. You're doing great. So that was clearing blocks and healing inner wounds that are distorting your outgoing communications. So now we'll do flower healing to help you have more accurate outgoing communication, closer to what you intend to communicate. So flower healing, just make a lot of energy healing flowers for yourself. They can be rainbow colors, gold, mix of that. Just whatever vibration you need to nourish yourself so that your outgoing communications are more and more accurate. I just say, angels, can you double check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. Deep breath. Wiggle your toes, stay here. All right, one more time. Make more energy healing flowers that you need so that your outgoing communications are more what you intend them to be. So lots of energy healing flowers. Angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. All right. So then the same thing, but with incoming communications, your ability to hear what other people are saying, because this is something that's largely subconscious. Like, we don't know when we're hearing wrong. We don't know when we're hearing something as being more offensive than it literally is. We don't generally realize that. We just get really offended and be like, no, that was very offensive what you just said, you know, but we could be subconsciously infusing extra offense into something because it's triggering old traumas that we have. And so we feel those in addition to what's happening now. And so we're hearing wrong, basically. We're distorting things. And that can really compound and complicate stress management. You know, so like you're kind of bumming yourself out for no good reason, you know, or it just makes your stresses seem twice as big for no good reason. So we don't want that, right? So we don't want distortion of our incoming communication, right? We want to just be wise and present and consider what's being said without projecting our own baggage into it, right? So fine. So let's do blanket exercise to clear the blocks first. So big gold blanket out in front of you. Dump onto it any energy blocks that on any level cause you to have distortions in how you're hearing and listening to communication. So any energy blocks that cause distortion with your incoming communication, your ability to hear and listen and comprehend. Okay, and then say, angels, is it okay for me to clear all these? And then you could blow them up if they're yours. You can melt them with gold light. You can hand them to your angels. Say, angels, here you go. Again, these are energy blocks that contribute to distortions for your incoming communication, your ability to hear, listen, comprehend. If you have any leftovers, say, angels, help me with that. All right, one more time. Big blanket out in front of you. Dump onto it any internal energy blocks you have on any level that are causing distortion with your ability to listen and hear and comprehend communication from others, from your angels also. And angels, can you double check my piles? And then you can blow them up, or you can melt them with gold light, or you can hand them to your angels, whatever you prefer. And if you have any left over, just say, angels, help me with this. Okay, so now still the same thing, incoming communication, but inner wounds. So go ahead, imagine any inner wounds out in front of you that cause distortion in your hearing and listening and comprehending what people are saying to you or what your angels are saying to you, right? So this could be very beneficial to do. So imagine inner wounds like slashes out in front of you. You don't have to feel them at all. And just use gold light and paint the slashes with gold. So it's like an art project. Just spread gold light on these inner wounds so that you have more and more accurate, less distorted ability to hear communication from other people and communication from your angels. Sometimes the distortion is too that you don't, you know, maybe sometimes you're thinking something is more offensive than it is, but maybe sometimes you're actually being more naive and you're minimizing the significance of what's being communicated. Like you don't see it, you don't you're kind of in denial. And so that's a distortion too in your incoming communication, your ability to process communication from others. So, and that can be caused by inner wounds. So just heal these inner wounds that are distorting your ability to listen, hear, and comprehend other people and your angels. All right. So check your grounding one more time, red or orange or yellow grounding. Unblock it, especially in the back. All right, and so let's do flower healing to help you again with, so you can have less distortion in your ability to hear, listen, and comprehend other people and your angels, right? So flower healing for you. So make your flowers, they can be rainbow colors or gold. Angels, can you double check my flowers? So this is healing energy to heal your ability to hear and listen and comprehend accurately. So give those flowers to yourself. Deep breath. Wiggle your body a little bit. See, feel your body. More flowers. Okay. Make a lot of energy healing flowers and whatever healing energy you need, so that you're more nourished and more able to listen and hear and comprehend accurately your angels and other people. Just say, angels, can you double check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. All right. Woohoo, good job. So that was reducing distortion in both your outgoing communication and then your incoming communication. Because you can have different types of distortion in each of those that get in the way of your communicating. I think what I'm going to do is just link below that February love life thing, because I think what we did today is quite enough, especially because I added all that GVCV work. I think what we did today is a really good sort of package. So for those of you that want extra work on communication, I'll just link that February healing 3 of 3. I already linked it 2 days ago. If someone wants it immediately, it's linked under the Sunday healing that we did 2 days ago. It's in the, below the healing summary in the optional video links. It says turtle exercise, and then it refers you to that big live stream. The most relevant exercises in that one, they're all grouped together. It's turtle exercise, clear shame, and melt inner wall for more authenticity. But I think what we did today is definitely quite enough for now. All right. So I'm just gonna, I think what we'll do is we'll, make sure we'll do a little extra unblocking in the front to melt away triggered energy blocks. So melt away triggered energy blocks from the front of the aura. So, it could be up here too, but, here in front of your chakras and your aura. You can have energy blocks that are just kind of stubborn. A lot of times they're stubborn because someone's courting them, and so that makes them extra stuck. But somebody in the 2 days ago, I had to correct them because they were like, well, I have blocked energy because of these toxic people that I'm around, which it's not like, well, of course I'm blocked. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm around toxic people. That's not how this stuff works. Just because you have cords from other people, you can melt them, and if you're centered enough, melting the cord takes like 10 seconds, so it's not something you have to just sort of surrender to for the rest of your life. I mean, it takes regular maintenance, so it might be 10 seconds every day, but that's okay. So just go ahead and think about if you have any blocked energy right above your head and in the front of your aura, and just melt the cords going into it, and then melt those chunks of blocked energy. And just like I reminded that person, you know, you can remind yourself, hey, I'm a strong eternal soul. I have the ability to rejuvenate myself, replenish myself, to transform my life, to transform myself. You know, I can create change, I can heal. So this is just a little bit extra, unblocking and melting away triggered energy above the head and in the front of the aura. Oh, you know what? Shocker, I remembered one more thing we should do. You know me, that's not at all surprising. Okay, call back, bring in would be really nice to do to finish up right now. So call back, bring in is its own video, but it's two processes that are very complementary to each other. Call back is you're calling back your energy that, you know, is in other people's spaces or in the past or in the future or somewhere, anywhere but with you. So you're gonna call that back and clean it off and receive it. And then bring in is different. That's bringing in new energy of yours that you're ready to bring in. So we'll do that to help you with communicating. Okay, so go ahead for the callback part. Just make some gold 3D object that is going to be like a magnet for you. So it could be like a gold sphere, a gold cube, a gold pyramid, whatever floats your boat. And it's a magnet, and you're just going to use it to call back your energy. And it can expand too, the more of your energy you call back, because that's kind of fun. So just call back, because it could be that your communications weren't clean at some point, and you handed your energy, your unique life force, to the person that you were trying to communicate with. Probably because you were a little stuck at the time, maybe irritated, maybe sad, maybe anxious. So it's possible that your communications were a little sloppy, you know, and you handed your unique life force to the person that you were trying to communicate with. Okay, so there's no shame in that. It's okay, but it's good to get back your energy. It helps them, it helps you, right? So use your 3D object like a magnet, call back all your energy, all your life force that you gave away through sloppy communicating. And whatever life force that is not with you that you need, you know, that maybe you left somewhere, just call it back into your little 3D object, and then say, angels, can you clean all this off for me? And then just give back your energy to yourself. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So a gold 3D object, whatever shape you like, use it to call back your energy, your unique life force. Maybe that you gave to other people through sloppy communicating. So call back all your sloppy communicating energy. And call back whatever, you know, maybe someone stole energy from you, call that back, you know, call back all your energy. And then say, angels, can you clean all this out for me? And then go ahead and give it to yourself. All right, so that's call back. And then bring in is you're aware, you become aware of energy that's like above you that is yours that you haven't brought in yet. But it's typically new energy of yours that you've created in your sleep with your angels. And so in this case, it could be communications energy. But it could be other things too, like motivation on a project that you've been working on because you haven't been motivated. So you've been working on it in your sleep with your angels. So there could be new motivation energy of yours that you're ready to bring in. So you can just imagine like a copy of you and then a copy of these colored balls of energy, like rainbow colored balls of energy, that it's your energy that you're ready to bring in. but it just hasn't come in yet. So just lots of gold light through those balls of your energy, so that, and you can even run gold light through the copy of you as well. So you're just healing the whole thing, yourself and these balls of energy, so that you're ready to bring in this new positive energy of yours. And some of it might take a couple days to fully come in, but you do it until you can kind of see that it's starting to come in. And if you have trouble with that, say, angels help me with that. Angels help me to bring in my new positive change energy. And if any of this, you really are like, oh my gosh, I so need to work on this, but I'm just not motivated to do more. Just, you can take a moment now and just say, angels, please help me in my sleep to progress in my communications. All right, so good job. Woohoo, we did it. Yay. All right, so I will try to be somewhat brief, like maybe 20 minutes of just reading live viewer comments about this healing and how the healing was for you. So if you did want to share any feedback on how you're doing right now, how was this healing for you? Do you have a favorite part of the healing? A follow-up question about something that I mentioned in this healing, feel free to post it. As far as like looking ahead, this is the last group healing of October that I'm doing. I do a set of three healings that starts on the first Friday of each month, and then a set of 2 healings. This set starts on the 3rd Sunday of each month. So that's what this was. This was the final one of those. So the next set of group healings I'm doing is that set of 3, starting on the first Friday of November 2021, which is November 5th, 7th, and 9th. I want to say that's Healthy Family Boundaries, which is just an insanely popular theme. Yeah, Healthy Family Boundaries. The crowd roars. And then the twin set in November is Work-Life Balance, which is one of my all-time favorite themes. As far as how much it helps me and how much I need it. So anyway, lots of good stuff coming up. And if you don't know how to purchase these healings, how to have me heal you during the healings, they go on, you can check out my website. It describes that, janetwrightreadings.com. But the gist of it is you buy them on the 15th. They sell out within 3 hours. Usually one healing will be more popular than the other, maybe because of the theme. And so that one might sell out in like a half hour, and the other one takes like 3 hours to finally finish selling out. But they sell out fast on the 15th of each month. So November 15th is when January healings go up on my sale page on my website. And I will be, at some point before then, posting at least the themes for January, so you know what they're going to be. But possibly the themes for the whole year of 2022. We'll see. When I figure them out and I'm ready to announce them, then, I figured them out astrally, but I'm not conscious of all of them yet. So when I know them consciously and I'm ready to tell everybody, I will email my news email list with those, with that information, the themes for the group healings for 2022. So if you're not on my news email list, but you want to be, just email me and ask to be added to my news email list, because I don't automatically add people unless you ask, but I'm happy to add people. So my email is janet@janetwrightreadings.com. What else? Yeah, that's it. Alrighty, so catching up on comments. Oh, let me set my timer so I don't end up going for like an hour now, because I don't want to do that. Okay. And if I don't get to what you posted and it's like a question that you want me to look at for you, just post it under any video at any time, and I'll get to it when I have time. And put your first name and last initial in with the question if it's not obvious from your YouTube ID, if you're okay with that, because that helps me read more accurately. Okay, hello, looking forward to this healing. Thank you, smiley face. How frequently do we need to clear beings and people? Do they return? I mean, I clear beings and people certainly once a day, but potentially multiple times a day. But I do, these group healings, it makes me a very, very high profile figure. But if I were equally as sensitive, but I wasn't like a big professional healer, I would probably still at least do it once a day. It's not that the same beings return, because most likely your angels are destroying those beings. That's what recycling is. But the people could return, but it could be different people. But yeah, it takes longer because I'm explaining. But if you do it on yourself, you could do it in like 10 seconds, So I would say daily, just because even if you're not a pro healer reader, as a sensitive older soul, it's definitely worth the 10-20 seconds. It's nice. So the people, hopefully, if you're inspiring them to work with their angels, then, maybe at first you have to remind them every day, but then maybe only twice a week you have to remind them. And then maybe, only during in advance of holidays, you have to remind them, so generally, eventually everyone can progress, even people that you might consider the opposite of spiritually evolved, on a subconscious spirit level, people can improve the more you remind them to work with their angels. Someone's lots of nice pretty flowers, says hi Janet, thank you so much. Someone says joining from Portland, healing myself, good for you, go go go. Someone says visibility is still good. Oh yeah, even with my lighting dramas. Yeah. Yeah, I looked out. I don't know what that was. I probably forgot to charge them up since the last healing. Oops. Someone says, I was feeling pretty sleepy and spacey until we melted the denial walls. Pretty cool. Yeah, isn't that funny? Those denial walls that's the solid level ground exercise. Yeah, those denial walls. I think some of those denial walls are responsible for some of my more long-term Netflix binges. Like, if you're watching Netflix shows long enough for enough hours, Netflix actually puts a message on the screen, are you still watching? And you have to say yes or no. And I always think that's so hilarious, because it's like, then that's a real binge. If you get the message, are you still watching? So maybe if I keep melting my denial walls, then I'll be able to just, watch an enjoyable show and then maybe do something else after that. Gosh. Sorry about that. I don't know how to stop that, but your phone pipes into your computer. That's annoying. Anyway, so good. I'm glad that's nice feedback to know. Solid level ground exercise is what that is. And that's new that we did today. And that I'll timestamp like that. It'll be put in the survey, in the healing summary within a day. So if people want to go right to that, they can. Someone says, feeling the actual ground as more solid under my feet and in my feet and lower legs. Isn't that fun? Well, that's interesting. Yeah, so the solid level ground exercise really works. I think it'll help in other more psychological ways too, but that's funny. I'm glad. Someone says, I can feel some of the trapped emotions starting to dissolve after mental ground exercise. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy about that. Thanks for the feedback. Someone says, thank you, Jana. I love your work and joyful humor. Well, you're very kind. Thank you for the supportive feedback. Someone says, can you please check my boyfriend, and then puts the initials, when he should work on what should he work on to heal? He has had a surgery for colon cancer and still has pain and problems. Wait. Oh, I think you meant with his stomach. So he had surgery for colon cancer and still has pain and problems probably with his stomach. He has migraines very often. Yeah, so massive aura damage and chakra damage and Wei Qi aura damage too. So, so step one, I mean, because you can't, I don't have a group healing, even if there was space and you could buy it, which it's already sold out, you know, like the next one you can actually buy is in January. I mean, you could buy it on November 15th if you're fast enough on November 15th, you know, at the set time. Which is described on my website, JanuaryReadings.com, but that's for January, right? So that's too far ahead. So what you can do now is first center yourself, you know, which you're pretty centered right now, actually. I don't know, maybe you followed along in some of the healing, and your aura is whole, good for you, and your grounding is unblocked, very good for you. So you're in 7 through 3 right now, so that's very good for you. 7, 6, 5, 4. And 3. So you're in all those chakras right now. You're just not in 2 or 1. So for you to keep working and moving forward, just as an aside before we get to your boyfriend, which we will, there's a video, get present in 2nd and 1st chakras. So that could be a nice one for you. I don't know, maybe I've said that already to you in video comments, but get present in 2nd and 1st chakras. That's a nice one. To just keep getting even more and more present. Now that you already know how to repair your aura, you got flowing grounding, and you're in 7 through 3, at least at your best. Okay, so about your boyfriend, I'm just gonna say hi to him for a sec, but this is what you can remind him to do, you know, over time, because newbies, they tend to forget. So they'll work with their angels one day and then they'll stop the next day. And so they forget. And it's like babies, they have a learning curve, you know? So I'm just gonna say hi. You have angels, your angels are right here. So you have 3 angels and 1 spirit guide, and your angels can help and guide you and protect you. They can repair your aura. Your aura is all damaged in the top and the back and even the front, actually. And then your chakras, most of them are damaged. Not all of them, but most of them are damaged. So you can say, angels, please repair my aura. Angels, please repair my chakras. Angels, please help me with grounding. Yeah. So your angels were trying to help you before, but I think with your stress, you just couldn't tell the difference between angels and whatever else is in the world. And so your distrust was forming a wall between you and your angels. But now, you know, just say angels, you know, I'm going to let my angels repair my aura. I'm going to let my angels repair my chakras. I'm going to let my angels help me with grounding. And yeah, you don't have to see angels. You don't have to understand really what you're saying even. It's just basically we're repairing like your car motor and stuff. So just like putting you back together stuff. You can also say, angels, can you help heal my headaches? But you have to let them heal your aura, your chakras, and your grounding before even that would be possible. So just add that to your list of things that you're letting your angels do for you. Okay, so the person that said that has this boyfriend, you heard me, I was telepathing, but I was saying it out loud too, so you know what I said. So you don't have to teach it to him then the next time, you just remind him. Remember, I just want to remind you, you can ask this from your angels, but stay present. You don't want to be in his head like brainwashing him, because that removes his free will, so he doesn't really learn, which is a real problem. So just stay where you are. Just, you know, say, angels, help me to have good boundaries. You know, help me to have strong boundaries with my boyfriend. And then you stay where you are, where your body is, and then just let your mind's voice leave you, you know, to communicate to him. You know, so you just say, stay here, stay where you are, and just say, oh, honey, you know, don't say honey because he'll probably get uncentered when you say that, but just say his name and then say, I just want to remind you, your angels can help and guide you and heal you and repair you today, something like that. But if he lets his angels repair him for days and days and days and days, you know, then he won't have the aura damage, he won't have the chakra damage, he won't have the Wei Qi aura damage, he won't have the GB meridian damage, which is causing the headaches. So we can just, you know, see where it goes from there. But that's a start. It's just subconscious. He doesn't have to be open to angels consciously. That it doesn't matter. So hope that helps. Yeah. So there you go. If he's motivated and open to this stuff consciously, then sure, he could do my aura repair video, start with that, the gold buffer zones, Janet Wright gold buffer zones, but it's not necessary. You know, the subconscious working with the angels is fine. So if he's not really motivated or open to it consciously, don't push. It's not worth it. You don't want to, it's not necessary. Okay. Hope that helps. Someone says, before the healing, I had a headache and felt a bit nauseous. I stretched and massaged my body while half listening, and now I feel much better. Thank you so much. Oh, good. Interesting. Yeah, so that would be CV and GV issues that you were having. Yeah, I think there was a being that was in both your CV and your GV meridian, and you got him recycled during the healing. But yeah, that's kind of a, that's a, you know, that's a very, if a being has access to both your CV and your GV meridian, then they can cause a lot of weird symptoms. But you could just say, you know, angels, if there are any beings in the way of my body meridians, can you recycle them? That's nice. So anyway, glad you're feeling better. Thanks for the feedback. Someone says, I feel a lot more joy. Thanks for the comments on arguments. Since my daughter, yes, I was in part thinking about your survey feedback. Since my daughter has gotten the healing, she has accelerated speaking up for herself. Yeah. Yeah, your husband has this way of just like walking into her upper chakras and just like sitting there while he talks to her. I think that's what his dad did to him, like his whole childhood and adolescence. And so he doesn't even know he's doing it. And she finally got so present that she's like, "Rah! Cut it out!" You know? So yeah, it's actually progress, albeit a little dramatic. But yeah, what you could do too is just, you know, when you're centered, remind your husband just with telepathy, just say, you know, say his name, don't say honey, because that'll get you stuck in your heart chakra maybe, but just say his name and just remind him that he can take classes with his angels in his sleep about boundaries, having boundaries with your kids, having strong, healthy boundaries with your kids. And, you know, be sure to just, like, it's not like he's a bad dad, you know, it's just that having strong boundaries with your kids is actually a pretty evolved place to get to. You know, the norm is actually being really invasive with your kids, which is completely counterproductive to your long-term relationship with them, to their growth and development, to your sanity, you know. So, you know, it's not like only he would benefit from that. Anybody that has kids could take classes on the astral in their sleep with angels to have more strong and healthy boundaries with their kids or with your parents. Yeah. Okay. Someone says, thanks, Janet. I felt great, but got a little triggered at the end. I think it's a being. Yes, it is. Yeah, that being seems to like your second and first chakras in the front left. So yeah, just, it's like first, second, third layers, front left. It's like spinning like a little tornado. So I'll let you get them. Just have your angels recycle them. How'd my friends do? Thanks, this was rad. Yeah, good question. How did your friends do? I want to look. I'm curious too. Okay, so your friend UK, uh, hmm, she had the big platforms in that the mental stability exercise, the new one today, the solid level ground exercise. She had like a lot of platforms, and so that was a real game changer for her. She's gonna work more with her angels on that. That was like, that's, her mind is a little blown with that. Not in a bad way, but it's like she just figured that's how you cope, is you just put a platform over some old trauma. You don't, there's nothing else that can be done. So like stiff upper lip type. So that's a big deal for her. She did the rest of the healing fine, but that is like a big deal for her. EM, your other friend that got the healing, that self-help circle thing, her angels like that a lot for her. She's going to work more with her angels in her sleep on that one. Your dad had some platforms. I mean, I guess everybody does, but he had ones that were more sizable than you might think. So that was especially nice for him. Someone says, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome to watch these. I do 5 group healings every month. The schedule is on my website. Well, yeah, the schedule through the end of the year is on my website. But I will do them also next year as well. Just the schedule for that isn't up yet. But it'll be the same general schedule. A set of 3 healings that starts on the first Friday of each month, and then a set of 2 healings that starts on the 3rd Sunday of each month. Okay, and then a Q&A after, 2 Q&As a month after the Sunday healing, separate Q&A. So it says, thank you so much, Janet. I feel lighter, more grounded, and peaceful. You healed me and I healed myself. So good. Nice. Cool. Thank you. Good to know. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I only followed you during initial 30 minutes. Based on our last session, last group healing, maybe, I feel more heard in meetings. Oh, very interesting. That is a big plus for me, and am speaking out my thoughts more. How about that? Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. Go. Okay, someone else says, healed myself, and the healing the solid ground holes and melting denial walls felt good. Thanks as always. You're welcome. I'm glad it helped. Yeah, good job. You can obviously keep doing that one. Your family is very much all about building platforms over wounds in the mental stability ground, like your entire genetic family. Like their mental stability ground is like 60 to 80% platform, each of them. Which I guess makes sense. I mean, within groups of people will sort of copy each other's imbalances subconsciously. So yeah, you could definitely keep doing that exercise just to kind of unlearn some of the negative habits with that one. So that solid level ground exercise, especially the end part where you melt platforms and then heal up what's underneath the platform. Cool. Great job. Someone says, I attach to external events, tend to overextend myself. I feel I've abandoned, disappointed myself and others. Feel confused. Is this due to communication? Would speaking to my angels help? Thanks. Well, it's a little, sometimes you put, that exercise that we did 2 days ago, we didn't repeat it today, but you tend to hand a lot of pain sandwiches with what you're saying. And I brought this up before, but you could keep redoing that exercise, pain sandwiches. from 2 days ago. Because you do that so much that a lot of times it's really hard for me to glean meaning from what you're saying in surveys and here. Like you're showing me 20 different levels of pain, so it's like I'm not sure where to start. Maybe just melt inner wounds, because from what you're saying, you get so triggered that you just get really uncentered and then feel crappy. So just heal inner wounds, like daily. Any inner wounds that are in your way, any inner wounds that are harming your mood, harming your behavior. Just keep healing inner wounds, and then do the clear pain sandwich exercise daily. I would say that could really help you. So I hope that helps. And of course, just regular healing too, which you're good at now. Aura healing. Make sure your aura is repaired. Make sure your grounding is flowing in the back. Make sure your chakras are repaired. But you're good at that now. It's just the pain sandwich handing out and the inner wounds. I think it's just sort of like normal for you to feel these inner wounds triggered, and so you don't really realize that you just have, like, say, a dozen inner wounds kind of bothering you at that time, so you could take 5 minutes and just melt them and have a much better day. So it's not just you, of course, but that could be nice for you to work on. Someone says, before the healing, I was stuck in emotional flashback. Now I'm just relaxed and the pain level has dropped. Good for you. Significantly. Thank you so much, Shannon. Good for you. And you healed yourself. So good job. Yeah, I think the mental stability exercises that you could keep working that. The solid level ground one. Also, that self-help circle one, that could be nice to keep working on too. But good for you. Someone says, I have done a lot of work on my mental disc. Please let me know how it's looking at this point. Yeah, it's just the same. Like, keep working on it. There's more, like a week from now, you'll be stronger, more present. You'll be able to do more, So, I mean, the work you've been done is successful. But it's just, it's one of those things where you could just keep doing it. So keep up the good work is sort of what your angels are saying about it. Someone says, this healing set has been great for me. I feel like I have a lot of blocked energy when it comes to speaking up on work meetings. Is there a particular area in this healing that will help me with that? Yeah, a little bit like one other person I was talking to. I said that their family has a lot of platforms on their solid, like the solid level ground exercise. Towards the end of that, we got rid of platforms that were sort of like covering up wounds rather than healing them. And so, like there were holes, and as a coping mechanism, someone had just put a platform over them to like pretend like, oh, I'm fine, everything's fine, And so those platforms, in that person's family, everyone had a lot of platforms. Everyone just repressed and faked like they were normal and fine and everything's great. So your mom used to do that a bunch, and your dad still does it a lot. And so that's something that you could work on more, is that solid level ground exercise and just the platform stuff, but also just big holes and ditches that are out in the open and that solid level ground, just to get it more solid and level. So, because I think in a meeting situation, it just triggers, your instabilities. And so the less instabilities you have, the less gets triggered, the more you're just sitting there thinking of what you want to think and what you want to say. I think you're just too distracted from actually trying to communicate, by having these wounds and these platforms triggered, and because you're aware that in a work meeting you're going to be evaluated and perceived, and so those platforms, like they're a false front where you say, well, oh, here's who I am, but it's an unstable false front. Well, all false fronts are unstable. So anyway, long story short, work on this solid level ground exercise more. I think that's probably going to help you the most as far as meetings. Because there is the clearing distortions in your outgoing communication and your incoming communication, but I think that is like 30% important and the other one is 100% important for you personally. So just for a while, just the solid level ground exercise would be the best. Hope that helps. Someone says, hi, dear Janet, this is, and you're saying your first name, thanks for the healing. Meaning, thanks for the walkthrough, because you were not one of the people that I healed, just so that I'm clear on what's going on here. I have a problem of hearing telepathy and clear vision from angels and other people and invasive beings and my own self-talk even. A problem of hearing telepathy and clear vision. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, hearing your angels wouldn't be a problem. Maybe you're just saying, I don't hear my angels consciously. That's probably what you're trying to say, I guess. Yeah, it's not clear to me if you're just getting a lot of communication from invasive beings that are freaking you out, and therefore you're just freaked out in general about everything. Or what? So you could repair your telepathic mesh and then melt cords from it. I think that could help a lot. To do that, if you search Janet Wright telepathic mesh, you'll find probably a couple video options, but there is one called, if you search Janet Wright 5th chakra 5th layer healing, that is all about the 5th chakra 5th layer healing and repairing, but it includes work on the telepathic mesh, which is the part of your 5th layer in front, kind of in front of your throat chakra in your 5th layer, and it should be like gold flowing mesh. But it can get big rips in it, and it can get cords, and it can get energy blocks in front and behind it that will distort things and make it harder for you to control, who you're listening to and what you're hearing. So that could be, that's the next thing I would suggest that you work on is your telepathic mesh and get it repaired, melt the cords, get it unblocked, melt the blocked energy around it. So, like I said, either search Janet Wright telepathic mesh or just Janet Wright 5th chakra 5th layer healing. I'll link that video, 5th chakra 5th layer healing, below within a day. I already linked it under the Sunday video. Anyway, I hope that helps. Telepathic mesh, I'll spell it out. So Janet Wright, telepathic mesh, M-E-S-H, mesh. Okay. If you have follow-up questions, you can post them under any video, and I'll get to them when I can. Someone says, I think I got it. I'm feeling I'm overextending due to wanting to fix, heal, and getting into my head, crossing boundaries. I'll work more with angels and asking others to ask their angels. Okay. Someone says, I deal with them who take advantage of me. They don't have to understand me, only abuse me. I am ATM for them. Oh, I see, a cash machine for them. What do to stop them and be heard? In silence to them is not working. Thanks. And you're reminding me who you are. Okay, well, thanks for your question. the problem with being heard, okay, is everyone has free will, right? And so if somebody doesn't want to listen to you, there's no way that I would ever teach somebody how to force them, right? Because that's super bad karma, and you're messing up like future lifetimes of yours by doing that, right? So there's no way to make yourself be heard. I mean, I know that's frustrating, but if you want to protect yourself and your self-interest, then you don't want to force anything. It's just not appropriate. You'd be harming yourself 10 times more in the future, right? So you can't make someone listen to you if they are predisposed to not want to listen to you. So, there's really a limit to what you can, but that's the idea of, 2 days ago in that healing, we worked on clearing some fears, and one of them was fear of loss of control. And that could be something that you could work on more, clearing, and it is time-stamped from the Sunday healing 2 days ago, fear of loss of control, clear fear of loss of control. Just because, say you have to deal with someone who is not going to listen to you, has not listened to you, but you have to work with them. If you don't have to work with them, okay, but if you do have to work with them, then the more centered you are about it, the better, right? Because you can't like voodoo them without really harming yourself in the future, right? So you can't do that. So they're just not going to listen to you, right? So the point is, you don't want it to harm your health. You don't want it to harm your ability to sleep at night. You don't want to harm your immune system, your state of mind, your soul. You know what I mean? You don't want it to deeply, deeply wound you. You just want it to be as trivial for you as possible. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is happening, but don't let it destroy you. You see what I'm saying? So how do you not let it destroy you? And that could be, clearing more fear of loss of control. When things are not going the way you want them to go, that really triggers fear of loss of control. And that can make things much more traumatic and self-damaging than they might otherwise be. So I'm sure that's not the answer that maybe you wanted, but that is the best answer that I can give you to really help is, so I'm sorry, but it is true. Sometimes people just don't want to listen. They don't want to help. They don't want to work with you. But because of a situation, there it is. You're working with them. So the more at peace you can be with that, the more you preserve your own sanity, your own mind, your own heart, your own soul. So you could say, angels help me to have peace. Angels help me to have safety. Angels help me to have peace. Help me to clear fear of loss of control. So even if you don't feel like going to the healing 2 days ago and doing that exercise, you'll work with your angels subconsciously on it. So sorry, that's not a fun answer, but thank you for your question, and I hope on some level it's helpful. Someone says, that's so funny about the arguments. Ever since I started getting healings this year, I've had a few really big arguments with my family this year. I do feel more grounded now, thanks. Yeah, some arguments they're just kind of ways of resetting boundaries. But you can do it without the words. Just change yourself and don't really give them a conscious notice, but then they might try to start an argument about it. But you could just kind of, you don't have to be verbal about it, but generally it is frequent that it turns into a verbal argument, but it wouldn't necessarily have to, but they might try to start it that way. If you feel like there are too many arguments in your life, but you still want to own your boundaries with everybody, Um, You could say angels help me to have strong boundaries and peace. You know, that might help a little. Angels help my family members to adjust to my growth and change. All right, I hope that helps. Thanks for the feedback. Someone says, that doesn't surprise me about my dad and giant platforms. Oh yeah, he has a lot of heaviness that he shoves down. So happy that he's working on it. Great, thanks, Janet. Yeah, it surprised me a little because what I normally perceive about him in a quick read is just how he's very even keel. So apparently the even keel is because everything's under a platform. So it's, yeah, it was a good part of the healing for him. Someone says, Dear Janet, oh, you're continuing your message. There's more. My message, I can't differentiate between the telepathies. It's a matter of time or there is another way. Oh, okay. So you're saying that you're hearing something, but you don't know if it's an angel or a person or a being. Yeah, well, if it's twisted and weird and scary, it's a being. You know, if it's like, you know, unhealthy and spooky, it's definitely a being. If it's negative but not necessarily scary, then it could be a being or a person. You know, it could be some person who's mad at you. But it's not going to be an angel. Angels do not communicate from a vibration of anger, even if you're doing everything wrong. You know, well, not wrong, but even if you're not listening to them and you're doing the opposite, angels they just don't go there. They don't get angry. They're just like loving, loving, loving. So maybe that might help you sort it out. Also, I mean, you just develop kind of over time, you know, you practice using your intuition about it. You could post under a video at some point, you know, you could say, well, there's this message I keep hearing. Is that an angel or a being? You know, if it's like, it seems helpful, but you're just not sure or something. But yeah, you can, you know, have like angel, being, person, you know, and then just have one flash at you, you know, but be centered first, you know, like don't be all wigged out and then try to figure it out because your intuition won't be as accurate then. But if you're centered, grounded, your aura is repaired, you're pretty present, then, you know, angel, being, person, you know, angel, invasive being, person, and then just see which flashes, you know. You just kind of practice. But yeah, over time, that's something that, because it's very common that at first people will hear their angels as their own thoughts. So they won't realize they're hearing an angel. They'll just hear some healthy thought and think it was their own idea, but then they'll be like, nah, I don't want to do it. So they're thinking they have a communication with themselves, but it's really their spirit guide or their angel going, yeah, you know, let's start taking vitamins, or yeah, let's go for a walk right now. You know. So yeah, that's a practice over time is what that is. But if you need double checking, as long as you don't mind waiting for me to get back to you, post under a video. Someone says, checking in to see how I did with this healing. Thanks. You know, your CV meridian, the one going up the front, actually was that had a lot of fraying. And most of it is healed, but not all of it. So since there was so much, I think healing your CV meridian more over time would be nice. Your GB was actually pretty nice, but it's probably good practice to heal both each time you do it, just because they support and complement each other. But specifically CV meridian, the one in the front, you could just keep doing that. You don't have to use a video. I mean, you could use the timestamp links to this healing, but then just, you know, kind of freestyle it, just like a minute each day or something. Keep healing your CV meridian. Everything else you did fine. Yeah. Someone says, hi, Janet. Do my angels have a video suggestion for right now for me? You healed me tonight. Yes, tonight for you, this morning for me. Unfortunately, something happened right after the healing and I feel weird. Yeah, isn't that the darndest thing? It's like life still is going on, so somebody could get furious with you, 5 minutes after the healing, and whoops, now you have a big slash in your aura. So let's see. Easy, calm down. Yeah, you do have, yeah, repair your aura. Just the 2 regular auras. You have some aura damage that happened towards the end of the healing. You can remind that person if you know who it is consciously, even if you don't. Just imagine the person that just took a bite out of your aura. Just say, hi, go talk to your angels. I know you have a lot of stresses in life. Your angels can help you. Just say, angels, help me with my stresses. Just remind that person so they're off your back, and then just, repair your aura. But everything else seems fine. I think if you just repair your aura and then the back of your grounding blocked up just from the stress of that aura damage. So repair your aura again, redo your buffer zones again, and unblock the back of your grounding, and that should be enough. So that's why I love that people are learning the techniques, because then they can, navigate out of these normal life occurrences. Okay, someone says brain fog, cognitive decline. Can it be a spiritual cause to it so it can be healed? Yes and no. Yes, but there are also biological based causes, like Alzheimer's, etc. But there's a lot of this kind of thing that is just energy. Like, yeah, your chakras are damaged, you're missing the back half of your aura, you would have a ton of brain fog. Your creative rings are smashed. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. So there are some things like Alzheimer's and all that would really separate you from your conscious communications and functioning. Not harm you as a spirit, but just you wouldn't be able to manage your conscious communications in the same way anymore. But short of that kind of a genetic sort of or biological disease, then yeah, this is all very workable through energy healing, mental focus. Yeah. Repair of the good karma windows also affects focus and mental clarity. Good karma windows is back here behind the head. Creative rings, repair of the creative rings, repair of all the chakras, repair of the aura. That all affects mental focus and clarity and all that. So cognitive decline, I mean, if someone's like literally, I guess that's like a early dementia thing that people are referring to when they say cognitive decline. I'm not sure how much of that, if it really is early stages of dementia, I'm not sure how much of it we could manage, but it's always worth a try. I mean, it's going to help on some level doing this stuff. It's just the question of, if it is very biologically rooted, then that's, I don't think we could completely make it go away. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. Someone says, if I want to give telepathic message like you did, is it better to do it directly or with the help of angels? Thank you. Yes and yes. I mean, you always ask your angels for help. Why not? Just say, angels, help me to have strong boundaries. The thing is, okay, with angels, the weird irony of it is people are more likely to hear people than they're likely to hear angels, even on this subconscious telepathy level. Because he already has angels, and his angels are already trying to help him. Like say your dad or, the other person's boyfriend or whatever. Like, angels are always offering help constantly. So if somebody's not working with their angels, it's not that their angels aren't already trying. So you're the missing link. I mean, not link as in cord, but you're a person. And so you have a vibration that's more like the other person's vibration. And so they're more likely to hear you than they are likely to hear an angel, because hearing angels is a more sophisticated thing, because angels communicate at this love and support vibration. And if your mind is kind of in the gutter with a bunch of stress, you might not be able to hear that love and support vibration. But another person can kind of be like, hey, dude, I know your life sucks. Your angels can help your life suck less. And they'll be like, oh, really? Why didn't anyone tell me this? You know? So yeah, ironically, a lot of times people can hear other people better than they can hear their own angels, until they get used to working with their angels, and then they kind of get that back, that ability to work with their angels, which is priceless. But in the meantime, while they're stuck, another person is more likely to be able to be heard by them. So I hope that helps. But you could say angels help me to have strong boundaries as I do this communication with this person. Someone says, thanks for the healing. My daughter had an anxiety attack last night, but I helped clear her grounding as she was releasing a lot. Well, good for you. You know, I think it's that friend of hers. I think, if I'm imagining right, she has a friend from school that you're kind of concerned about. I think, if I'm remembering right, I think the angels are reminding me. But anyway, there are some invasive beings that she picked up from this friend. And so I guess just redo your agreement with the angels so that everybody entering your home, including your daughter, including you, including your husband, gets a thorough being clean out as they enter the premises. So that way she can hang out with her friend, and if some sloppy boundary stuff happens as she's coming home, you know, as she's entering the house, the angels clean it all out of her. Because it looks like some of those beings like were attached to like her lower chakras and the Kundalini chakra and the first chakra. So it kind of kicked in that fight or flight response and the fear response with access to the Kundalini chakra and the first chakra. So it's nothing really that she did wrong or anything. It's just those beings they don't play fair, the beings that friend of hers has. Just because she has some kind of far out parent who picks up a lot of negative spirits. So yeah, just redo the clean out agreement with your angels about your home, so that everybody, including your daughter, gets clean outs. Someone says, thanks, Janet. I feel good, slightly off center, but I think it's work stuff. You know, I don't know if you noticed, I mentioned at some point in the healing that sort of the feeling weird in the center, that was from a little Wei Qi damage in the front that you had, Wei Qi aura damage that was causing you to feel a little extra vulnerable and weird in the center of your body. So we did do some Wei Qi aura healing. It just looks like, you know, chakra fit, like your 3, 2, 1, it's just not fitting quite right. So I would just imagine astral and physical 3, 2, 1 and kind of how they're fit right now. And then just, you know, surround them in like gold light, gold fire, do sticky gold wax a few times for 3, 2, and 1. So you can pop back into them more and then pop back into your legs more. Because you're kind of above your legs and kind of like half in, half out at 3, 2, 1. So I think half in and half out a third, that's what's giving you like a weird, almost like nauseous kind of experience. Because third chakra, if that's not working right, you can get like a nauseous kind of feeling. I don't think it's bad. I think that, so just, yeah, keep on blocking 3, 2, 1. Think about being in your legs more like lower. Don't sit on your lap, sit in your legs. Be in your legs. And if you did want to do even just one exercise from today over again, it would be that solid level ground one, especially the platform part. Your mom is like almost all platform in her solid level ground thing. So you learned a lot of that in this lifetime, like that kind of, oh, I can't heal that, I'll just hide it, So it's very doable. You can do it. You've come so far. So yeah, that could be a good one to redo. Solid level ground exercise. So I hope that helps. But you are pretty present. It's just like you're getting better even as I'm talking. You're probably working it already. But yeah, 3, 2, 1 more and legs. Okay, hope that helps. You could do like gold bottle brush in your feet chakra and your knees and your hips, just clean it out a little. Someone says, thank you, you're welcome. Someone says, hi Janet, I have trouble communicating with people who I feel have wronged me or betrayed me somehow. It's human, but I'm not very forgiving and give the cold shoulder. What can I heal to work on that? Well, I mean, there's two things. One thing is it might be that it's not good for you to continue communication with a certain person, so that's not really an imbalance. You could have decided that there's just no more healthy potential between you and this person. And maybe that's not being influenced by wounds or stuck energy. It's just an uncomfortable decision that is necessary, So I think that's the thing. You got to determine, are you being affected by current blocked energy and current inner wounds that you can heal and clear? Or is this just a decision that, there's no potential for healthy interaction going forward with this person? In which case, it's unfortunate. You wish them well, yada, yada, sayonara. So, so that's the idea, is sort of you look at it big picture. I mean, because you can always, unblock more, heal more inner wounds. But I think some of these situations, there's just not a healthy future for them, And a couple of them, yeah, you could heal, and maybe then you might choose a different level of relationship with that person. So yeah, you can work on that. So it says, thank you for my healing. The sky turned from gray to sunshine halfway through your work. Oh, that's nice. I wish it did over here. Although it's a little, yeah, I guess that happened here too. That's nice. Halfway through your work, I'm having trouble clearing my head of negative thoughts. Any advice? Telepathic mesh, I would say for you too. I had talked about that earlier in this little chat period, which I'm going to have to end. My timer, I don't know, I must have ignored my timer or I didn't use it. This is supposed to be a short one. But anyway, telepathic mesh. Your telepathic mesh is like all ripped up, and so then it's harder to just not listen to random invasive beings and stuff. So you just imagine your fifth layer in the front, there should be like this nice cool ribbon of flowy gold mesh here, but yours is like has a lot of rips, big like holes in it, so you just keep healing it and repairing it and melting cords from it. That's the short version. The long version is you look up a video on telepathic mesh and do it, but that's the short version. But you can search Janet Wright telepathic mesh, or it's in that fifth chakra, fifth layer healing video that I have, which I linked below the Sunday video 2 days ago, and I will link it below again today. Yeah, I would say that's the main thing. Just, yeah, repair your telepathic mesh. and melt cords from it. I think too, though, when you get into like one of these states of mind, you're like only in your seventh chakra. You like lose your grounding. You just get so triggered, you know. So you have to remind yourself to. I mean, the proactive thing you can do, because now you're actually in 7 through 2 right now, so you're very present. You're very healed, but your telepathic mesh is all beat up. So if I had like 10 days to do like 5 different healings on communication, then that would have been one of the things I do, is heal people's telepathic mesh. But we didn't have time. But it's, like I said, it's in that 5th chakra, 5th layer healing video. Okay, so much more always that people can do. If you hear that about telepathic mesh, but you have no motivation to do that video, you just say, angels, can you please repair my telepathic mesh? Okay. All right, guys, you're amazing. You're awesome. I hope the rest of your October is fabulous. And hope you're healthy and well. And congratulations for working your energy about communication. Go you, you're awesome. All right, bye.